Alrighty, how's everybody doing? I'm gonna do a little quick Daytona 500 review here. Uh, you know, I know there's a lot of discussion on the internet right now. A lot of people loves it, a lot of people hates it, but I really don't know what to say about the race except for just was it racing. Uh, yeah, whenever I watch racing, I want to see competitiveness. I want to see people passing each other cleanly. It's not really the driver's fault. I know a lot of people's blaming the young guys, saying, well, there's too many young guys in there. Well, no, it ain't too many young guys. It's the product of NASCAR trying to, pretty much, I hate to say it, but they're trying to get a crowd. And yeah, it's fun watching people wreck and stuff, but not whenever you're halfway through the Daytona 500 and you only got 26 cars running. You got something wrong. There's something going on, and they're going to have to fix this plate racing. I think slow the cars down 15 mile an hour. Do something to fix them, and especially the drafting where they hit them from behind. It's just too much, and the blocking is insane. Way too much blocking going on. Because if you get a run on somebody and it's turning out and block you, what's your option? It's either run over them or slow down and you get run over behind. So, seriously, I think if they're going to keep this package for Talladega and Daytona again, make a rule. If you block, it's a one-lap penalty, no matter what. No matter what type of block it is. So, we'll see what happens anyway. The race started out pretty decent. And it got going good there, and then we had a big crash. One of the big crashes there took out Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick. Keselowski ran the back of Chase Elliott and turned him around on the wall. And it's just chaos there, just avoiding, trying to escape it. And there's just really no way to escape it. If you're running 200 mile an hour, how you going to avoid 5 cars in front of you spinning? It's almost impossible, but it's like whenever you connected, like Brad connected with Chase, it just, once Brad turned the wheel to the left, it turned Chase right. And whenever done that, it just spun right to the wall. And, but that continue all day. Like I said, I'm not wanting to go into deep reviews. I picked Ryan Blaney to win this race, and he almost done it. He definitely was dominant car. Just bad luck there. And that goes with Brian and Kurt Busch. Whenever they got together there, it was same product, just barely touching the rear of the car. And then their car goes spinning around, everybody wrecks. Danica, she was involved in her last Daytona 500. She got involved in that wreck and everything. But what I really didn't like about the end of the race was Austin Dillon won the race. And I know a lot of people like Austin. I ain't got nothing against the guy or nothing, but he did wreck Eric Almirola on purpose. There was no matter what people say, there was no blocking. The guy moved 5 foot, if that. Austin Dillon had the whole entire bottom of the track to make the pass. But what happened was they was locked together. So whenever he turned to the left again, it shot Eric. Same thing happened to Chase Elliott. Just shot him up the track, and that's the problem. Right there, they got to get that fixed. Until they get that fixed, then you're in trouble. But I think Austin could have done it in a different way. Eric Almirola would not have done that to him. I know everybody said, well, Eric would have. And then you hear all this bull crap about, well, the 3 would have done it 20 years ago. Well, listen, Dale Earnhardt's been gone for a long time, guys. Austin Dillon is not Dale Earnhardt. It may have been the 20-year thing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, no. Austin Dillon would not have won this race if half of the cars hadn't wrecked out. He was just the right place at the right time, and he wrecked to win. And I promise you guys one thing: them other drivers in the field notices that he's not going to get the respect that some of these other drivers going to get. Eric Amarola, I got to give the guy credit. He had a calm interview after the race. If that would have been me, I would have been trying to chase down Austin to whip his butt. But that's a different story. But I'm sure Tony Stewart would have. Kevin Holder. If it had been Harvick would have had him in a headlock on Victory Lane. So that's you know, it just, I don't know. I just didn't like how he done it. To me, it's not racing. It's not professional racing. Kel Yarbrough and these guys back in the day, man, they would get the draft like Austin had, and they would go down low, make the move. Why couldn't he done that? I mean, people should remember Eric Amarola had that back surgery, this and that. One day somebody will get killed in these cars because of NASCAR not doing the right thing. If you want better audiences and more views, I heard the Daytona 500 this year the ratings was horrible. Yeah. Who wants to sit there and watch a wreck and then wait an hour before they restart? You know, it's just ridiculous. You know, in the Xfinity race, it took them over an hour to run 2 laps. 2 laps to run. 1 hour and something to run 2 freaking laps. It's just ridiculous, and they've got to fix it. At least we're going to a real track next week, and you can see some good racing. You're going to see the difference. You're going to see the real drivers with the best cars run up front next week. Austin ain't going to win next week because 30 cars ain't going to wreck. So, but like I said, congratulations, Austin. You know, if I would have been in the situation, who knows, I might have done the same thing. But I just think it was just uncalled for. And I've watched a lot of Daytona 500s, and I just don't want to watch everybody wreck. I want to see them race side by side and race for the victory. I'd like to see where the good cars, the better cars, could actually run up front instead of having to lay back. Jimmy Johnston, for instance, he always stays in the back of the pack, except for this 500. He tried to go for points in the wall out of the race, first half of the part of the race. That's just racing. And we're heading to Atlanta next week, where I expect 78 and 18 to be right back up front, where they should be. But they'll be back up front, and I think we'll see how the Camaro is at Atlanta, and then we'll know whether or not they're going to be competitive or not. Logano, and especially Ron Blaney, which is my pick to be. I think it's his step out year. He's going to get 2 or 3 wins and be in the playoffs and maybe even go to the Final Four. That's just my prediction on that. But I'll do a prediction for Atlanta here soon, and we'll see what happens. But for the Daytona 500 review, out of the 5-star race, I'd give it a 2.5. And that's being nice by giving it a 2.5. A lot of people say it's the greatest race I've ever seen because they love to watch everybody wreck. But if you're a true race fan like me, grew up with it, it's not racing. Definitely not racing. Go watch the 1988 Daytona 500 or somewhere in that time zone. Then you'll see some good racing. But this needs to be something changed with these restrictor plates. It's unreal. We'll get back some better racing next week. Other updates, Brendan gone. I thought for sure was going to get top 3 there, top 5, but what really hurt, and to mention this, is I think it's 9 laps to go in the race. William Byron. Sorry guys, but he spun out on purpose. Got the caution. and he wanted, and that's what triggered a lot of trouble. I think if he hadn't spun out on purpose there, the race would have continued and we'd had a good finish. Probably been a wreck, but it'd still been, I think, a better finish than what we've seen. But NASCAR I'd look at over, and if he did spin out on purpose, he should be penalized. Maybe even a race. These young drivers coming in, they're good and all, but they need to be a little more step up, serious with them, and start dishing out some penalties. It's time to quit playing around with the blocking, this and that. You know, they're all young. They want to wreck. They want to do this and that. It's time to start laying the suspensions down. You know, sure, Denny Hamlin wrecks Chase Elliott at Martinsville, and everybody's like, "Oh God!" Everybody's booing, great, you know, the blah blah. But Austin Dillon can do it just because he drives the number 3 car. Oh, that's what Dale would do. That's what Dale would do. No, Dale Earnhardt was back. He would never done that. I never seen him wreck anybody in Daytona 500 to do that. Watch all of them you want to. You'll never see him do it because he was usually the one leading. And if Dale did wreck you, it was a Bristol or Martinsville. It wasn't a 200-mile-an-hour hit on the wall like that. So, no, Dale he would have disapproved of that. And Richard Childers should be better man than that, but he's kind of always been a prick anyway. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, if you like my channel, I'm gonna do some other reviews and stuff. Subscribe. And hopefully next week we'll see a better race and good racing. Until then, see ya.